Most people spend their entire lives searching for success, yet they walk past it every single day. They chase motivation, secret strategies, and overnight breakthroughs, never realizing that success has been quietly waiting for them in the fundamentals they keep ignoring. The truth is, life does not reward what you intend to do. It rewards what you practice consistently. You don't need a new personality, a lucky break, or perfect conditions. You need mastery over the basics. Every extraordinary life is built on ordinary disciplines, done faithfully over time. When the fundamentals are ignored, life becomes hard. When they are mastered, life becomes simpler, clearer, and more powerful. Success is not complicated, but it is demanding. It demands responsibility, discipline, learning, focus, and character. If you are willing to return to the basics, to do the simple things well, every day, you can rebuild your direction, reclaim your confidence, and redesign your future. Because when you master the fundamentals, success stops being a mystery and starts becoming inevitable. Most people want success, but very few are willing to accept the one thing success demands: first, responsibility. They want better results without taking ownership of their choices. They want a better life while continuing to blame their past, their parents, the economy, or bad luck. But the moment you shift responsibility away from yourself, you also shift power away from yourself. You cannot change what you do not own. Life begins to change only when you decide, this is my life, and I am responsible for how it turns out. Taking responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything that went wrong. It means recognizing that, from this moment forward, your decisions matter more than your circumstances. Two people can face the same hardship and end up in completely different places. The difference is not the hardship, it is the response. Responsibility is the decision to respond with intention instead of reaction. It is the quiet understanding that no matter where you start, you still get to choose where you are going. When you accept full responsibility, excuses lose their comfort. Complaining may feel good for a moment, but it steals your future one excuse at a time. Every excuse you make is a small surrender of your potential. Successful people are not excuse-free because life is easy for them. They are excuse-free because they understand the cost. They know that excuses delay growth, weaken character, and keep progress just out of reach. Responsibility, on the other hand, is empowering. It gives you control over your habits, your attitude, and your effort. Responsibility also requires honesty with yourself. It means looking at your current results and asking, what am I doing, or not doing, that produced this outcome? Income, health, relationships, and confidence are all reflections of past choices. This realization can be uncomfortable, but it is also liberating. If your choices created your current results, then new choices can create new results. You are not trapped. You are simply standing at the end of yesterday's decisions. Many people wait for motivation, permission, or perfect conditions before they take responsibility. But responsibility comes first, motivation follows action. You do not feel your way into discipline. You discipline your way into better feelings. When you start acting responsibly, even in small ways, momentum begins to build. You start keeping promises to yourself. You start doing what you said you would do. And slowly self-respect replaces self-doubt. Taking responsibility also means understanding that life will not always be fair, but it will always be responsive. It responds to effort, to learning, to persistence. You may not be responsible for what happened to you, but you are responsible for what you do next. Holding on to resentment or self-pity does not punish the past. It only poisons the future. Responsibility frees you from that trap. It allows you to say, I cannot change yesterday, but I can shape tomorrow. As you grow in responsibility, you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? This shift transforms obstacles into instruction. Failure becomes feedback. Challenges become training. You stop seeing life as something that happens to you, and start seeing it as something that works with you, if you are willing to do your part. Ultimately, responsibility is the foundation of self-mastery. Without it, discipline collapses, goals remain fantasies, and growth becomes accidental. With it, progress becomes deliberate. You become the kind of person who does not wait to be pushed, but chooses to move forward. And once you accept full responsibility for your life, you step into the position you were always meant to hold, the driver's seat. From there, direction becomes possible, progress becomes inevitable, and success stops being a wish and starts becoming a choice. Self-discipline is the quiet force that separates a life of intention from a life of regret. Most people believe discipline is restrictive, that it steals freedom or joy, but the truth is exactly the opposite. Discipline is what creates freedom. Without it, life becomes a series of reactions, impulses, and unfinished intentions. With it, life becomes directed, purposeful, and steadily improving. Discipline is not about punishment. It is about self-respect. Every worthwhile achievement is preceded by small acts of discipline repeated daily. The difference between success and struggle is rarely one dramatic event. It is found in the habits no one sees, and the choices no one applauds. Getting up a little earlier, reading when others are scrolling, saving when others are spending, practicing when others are resting. These small disciplines may feel insignificant in the moment, but over time they compound into extraordinary results. Discipline always pays a return. Even if the payment is delayed, most people wait until they feel like it before taking action, but feelings are unreliable. They change with mood, weather, and circumstance. Discipline does not ask for permission from feelings. It acts based on commitment, not comfort. When you rely on discipline instead of motivation, you become consistent. And consistency is what builds skill, confidence, and credibility. Motivation may get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going when the excitement fades. Self-discipline also teaches you to choose long-term benefit over short-term pleasure. Life constantly presents trade-offs: comfort now or progress later, ease today or strength tomorrow. Discipline is the ability to delay gratification, to say no to what is easy so you can say yes to what is meaningful. This choice is rarely dramatic. It happens quietly, in everyday moments. It is choosing to prepare instead of procrastinate, to practice instead of postpone, to improve instead of indulge. As discipline grows, so does self-trust. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your belief in your own word. Many people struggle with confidence, not because they lack ability, but because they have repeatedly broken commitments to themselves. Discipline repairs that damage. It rebuilds integrity within you. When you know you will do what you said you would do, doubt loses its grip and courage takes its place. Discipline does not require perfection, it requires persistence. You will stumble. You will have days when you fall short. Discipline is not quitting when that happens. It is returning to the practice without drama or self-judgment. One missed day does not ruin progress. Quitting does. The disciplined person understands that progress is built by returning again and again to the fundamentals, even after setbacks. Life is always teaching, and discipline is how you listen. Pain can be a teacher, but discipline allows you to learn without needing repeated pain. Without discipline, life disciplines you through failure, stress, and regret. With discipline, you guide your own growth through choice and effort. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret is permanent. One builds strength, the other builds sorrow. As you practice self-discipline, you begin to shape your environment instead of being shaped by it. You design routines that support your goals. You remove distractions that weaken your focus. You become intentional about how you use your time, energy, and attention. Discipline becomes less about forcing yourself and more about setting yourself up to win. In the end, self-discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you build. It is strengthened by use and weakened by neglect. Each disciplined action, no matter how small, becomes a vote for the person you are becoming. And over time, those votes add up, quietly transforming effort into excellence and intention into achievement. Lifelong learning is the silent engine behind every lasting success. The moment a person believes they already know enough is the moment growth stops. The world keeps moving, changing, and evolving, whether you choose to learn or not. Those who commit to continuous learning stay relevant, adaptable, and valuable, while those who stop learning slowly fall behind, often without realizing it. Learning is not an event you complete, it is a habit you cultivate. Formal education may give you a starting point, but self-education determines how far you go. Schools teach you how to make a living, but learning on your own teaches you how to design a life. The most successful people in any field are students first. They read books, listen to mentors, observe patterns, and reflect on their experiences. They treat every day as a classroom, and every challenge as a lesson. This attitude keeps their minds open and their progress steady. Lifelong learning begins with curiosity, the willingness to ask better questions. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" the learner asks, "What can this teach me?" Instead of saying, "I already know this," They say, "What am I missing?" Curiosity keeps the ego in check and allows wisdom to grow. It replaces defensiveness with discovery and transforms mistakes into stepping stones, rather than stopping points. Learning also requires humility. Growth demands the courage to admit that you don't know everything. Many people resist learning because it threatens their pride. They would rather protect their image than improve their skills. But pride has a cost. It keeps you stuck with outdated thinking while the world moves ahead. Humility, on the other hand, is an advantage. It allows you to learn from anyone: books, mentors, colleagues, even critics. Wisdom often arrives from unexpected places. One of the greatest benefits of continuous learning is increased value. The marketplace rewards value, not intention. The more you learn, the more problems you can solve, and the more problems you can solve, the more valuable you become. Income, influence, and opportunity are often direct reflections of how much value you bring. Learning sharpens your ability to think, decide, and act effectively. It turns effort into skill and potential into performance. Learning is not just about acquiring information. It is about applying what you learn. Knowledge alone does not change your life. Applied knowledge does. A book unread is wasted potential. But a book read and acted upon can alter the direction of your future. Learning becomes powerful when it changes your behavior, your habits, and your standards. Each new insight, when applied, becomes a building block for growth. Lifelong learning also strengthens resilience. When challenges arise, learners adapt instead of panic. They search for solutions instead of excuses. They see change not as a threat but as an invitation to grow. In a world that is constantly shifting, the ability to learn quickly is more valuable than any single skill. Those who learn slowly struggle. Those who refuse to learn eventually become obsolete. Time is often used as an excuse to avoid learning, but the truth is learning does not require large blocks of time. It requires priority. A few pages a day, a podcast during a commute, a moment of reflection at the end of the day. These small investments accumulate. Just as neglect compounds into ignorance, consistent learning compounds into wisdom. Ultimately, lifelong learning keeps you young in spirit and sharp in mind. It fuels confidence because you know you are growing. It reduces fear because you trust your ability to adapt. When you commit to learning every day, you are never truly stuck, because growth always creates a way forward. Most people drift through life not because they lack ability, but because they lack direction. Without clear goals, effort becomes scattered and energy is wasted. You may be busy, but being busy without direction leads nowhere. Goals give purpose to action. They act like a compass, guiding daily decisions and helping you determine what matters and what does not. When you know where you are going, you begin to move with intention instead of confusion. Goals are not just about achieving something in the future. They are about shaping who you become in the process. The real value of a goal is not the reward at the end, but the growth required along the way. Every meaningful goal demands discipline, patience, learning, and courage. As you pursue it, you are forced to stretch beyond your comfort zone. You develop skills you didn't have before, and strengths you didn't know you needed. In this way, goals become tools for personal transformation. Many people fear setting goals because they are afraid of failure. They would rather stay vague than risk falling short. But vague living produces vague results. Clear goals bring clarity, even when progress is slow. Failure in pursuit of a goal is not a verdict on your worth. It is feedback on your strategy. Each setback teaches you something about what to adjust, improve, or approach differently. Without goals, failure feels final. With goals, failure becomes part of the learning process. Effective goals are intentional and specific. Wanting better life or more success is not enough. Goals must give your mind something concrete to work toward. When your goals are clear, your brain begins to search for opportunities, solutions, and connections that support them. What was once invisible becomes obvious. This focus sharpens decision making and strengthens commitment, even during difficult seasons. Goals also provide structure during times when motivation is low. Motivation rises and falls, but goals remain. They remind you why you started when enthusiasm fades. On hard days, goals act as anchors, keeping you steady when emotions try to pull you off course. They help you persist through discomfort by pointing you toward a larger purpose beyond the moment. Writing goals down is a powerful act of commitment. When a goal exists only in your mind, it is easy to forget, postpone, or abandon. When it is written, it becomes real. It confronts you daily. It holds you accountable. Written goals also allow you to track progress, celebrate small wins, and make adjustments when needed. Progress may be slow, but seeing it documented reinforces belief and builds momentum. Goals should be balanced between the practical and the personal. Financial goals, career goals, and health goals are important, but so are goals related to character, relationships, and contribution. A successful life is not measured only by what you achieve, but by who you become and how you impact others. Well-rounded goals ensure growth in every area, not just one. Perhaps the most important role of goals is that they pull you forward. Life will always present distractions, setbacks, and detours. Goals keep calling you back to what matters. They give meaning to discipline and direction to effort. Without goals, discipline feels pointless. With goals, discipline feels purposeful. When you commit to meaningful goals, you stop leaving your future to chance. You begin to design it intentionally, one decision at a time. Time is the one resource everyone receives equally, yet it produces wildly unequal results. The difference is not how much time people have, but how they choose to use it. Many people feel overwhelmed, rushed, and unproductive not because they have too much to do, but because they are doing too many low-value things. Managing time is not about squeezing more tasks into the day. It is about deciding what truly matters and giving it your best energy. Every day presents a choice between activity and progress. Activity feels productive because it keeps you busy, but progress comes only from focused effort on priorities. Without clear priorities, time gets filled by distractions, interruptions, and urgent but unimportant demands. You end up reacting to life instead of directing it. Priorities bring order. They help you distinguish between what is necessary and what is merely convenient. Effective time management begins with intentional planning. A day that is not planned is easily hijacked. Planning does not restrict freedom, it protects it. When you decide in advance how you will use your time, you reduce decision fatigue and increase follow-through. Even a simple plan provides structure, helping you stay aligned with your goals, instead of drifting into habits that steal your future. Learning to say no is one of the most valuable skills in managing time. Every yes is a trade. When you say yes to distractions, you are saying no to growth. Many people overcommit because they fear disappointing others, yet end up disappointing themselves. Protecting your time is not selfish, it is responsible. You cannot build a meaningful life if your time is constantly surrendered to other people's priorities. Time management is also about energy, not just hours. Not all hours are equal. Your best thinking, creativity, and discipline happen at specific times of the day. Wise use of time means matching high-value tasks with high-energy moments. Important work deserves your best focus, not what is left over after distractions take their share. When you respect your energy, productivity improves without adding more hours. Distractions are the silent thieves of time. They rarely announce themselves as harmful. They arrive disguised as entertainment, convenience, or urgency. Social media, unnecessary meetings, constant notifications, and unplanned conversations quietly consume hours that could have been invested in growth. Managing time requires managing attention. Where your attention goes, your life follows. Learning to focus deeply, even for short periods, creates a powerful advantage. Procrastination is often misunderstood as laziness, but it is usually the result of poor priorities or fear. When tasks lack meaning, they are easy to delay. When goals are clear, action becomes easier. Clarifying why a task matters helps overcome resistance. Progress begins when you stop waiting for the perfect moment and start using the moment you have. Time also reflects values. How you spend your time shows what you truly believe is important, not what you claim is important. If growth matters, time must be allocated to learning. If health matters, time must be invested in care and movement. If relationships matter, time must be protected for connection. Time reveals truth, and truth demands alignment. Ultimately, managing time well is an act of self-respect. It acknowledges that your life is finite, and that each day is a non-renewable opportunity. When you learn to prioritize wisely, you stop living reactively and start living intentionally, turning ordinary days into meaningful progress. Character and attitude quietly determine the ceiling of a person's success. Skills may open doors, intelligence may create opportunities, but character decides how long you stay and how far you rise. Many people focus on external achievements while neglecting the inner foundation that supports them. Yet life has a way of exposing weak character under pressure. When challenges arise, attitude and integrity reveal who you truly are. Character is built in moments when no one is watching. It is the collection of choices you make when it would be easier to take shortcuts, bend the truth, or lower your standards. Every small decision either strengthens or weakens your inner foundation. Over time, these choices become habits, and habits become identity. Strong character creates trust, and trust is one of the most valuable currencies in life. Without it, success is fragile and temporary. Attitude shapes how you experience life. Two people can face the same circumstances and have completely different outcomes based on how they interpret and respond to them. Attitude is not about pretending everything is fine. It is about choosing a constructive response even when things are difficult. A positive attitude does not deny reality. It empowers you to deal with reality effectively. It allows you to look for opportunity in difficulty and growth in adversity. Life will test patience, integrity, and resilience. Delays, setbacks, criticism, and disappointment are unavoidable. Character determines whether you grow bitter or better through these experiences. Those with strong character understand that life is not happening to them, but shaping them. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" they ask, "Who am I becoming because of this?" This mindset transforms hardship into refinement. Attitude also influences how others respond to you. People are naturally drawn to those who remain calm under pressure, honest in conflict, and respectful in disagreement. A winning attitude does not demand attention, it earns respect. In leadership, relationships, and teamwork, attitude often matters more than technical skill. People may forget what you said or did, but they rarely forget how you made them feel. Integrity is a cornerstone of character. It is the alignment between values and actions. Without integrity, success becomes hollow. You may gain short-term advantages, but long-term consequences are inevitable. Integrity builds confidence because you do not have to remember who you pretended to be. When your actions match your values, you experience inner peace and clarity, which strengthen decision-making and self-respect. Gratitude is another powerful aspect of attitude. It shifts focus from what is missing to what is present. Gratitude does not mean settling for less. It means appreciating what you have while striving for more. It creates emotional balance and resilience, especially during difficult seasons. Those who practice gratitude regularly tend to handle pressure better, because they are not constantly fighting reality. Character also requires patience. Growth takes time, and meaningful success rarely arrives on a convenient schedule. Impatience often leads people to abandon worthwhile efforts too early or chase shortcuts that undermine long-term success. Patience allows you to stay committed through slow progress, trusting that consistent effort will eventually produce results. Ultimately, character and attitude are choices practiced daily. They are not shaped by circumstances, but revealed by them. When you commit to strong character and a disciplined attitude, you build a foundation that supports lasting success in every area of life.